the PA carry. I'm not saying that there's a good pick here. I'm just saying, like, literally their best hero PA in Lycan.
They're just bringing their best for TNC.
I mean, it's what 496 does every time. I swear to God, many times when I watch this team, I think, oh, they just have half the screen off, right? Like, they just don't see the top part. And they're just drafting their own draft. And it is not the craziest strategy. Do you remember when Mushi used to play in that team? I forgot what it was. And they did a gnome ban strat where they didn't ban any heroes and they just kind of picked whatever they wanted.
Wait, what do you mean they did? Like, they literally just let the time run
out?
out?
Yeah, they didn't ban any heroes. They let the bans go. And that is what 496 reminds me of.
Alliance did that at TI.
Not on purpose. And that's what 496 does very often as well. They play their own strat. They don't get flustered by what the enemy team is bringing. They don't try to counter them. They just try to make their strat work.
Well, doesn't it kind of feel like sometimes TNC is known for doing that too?
Oh, yes, but they do look at the opponent and be like, all right. They just don't look at the meta, but they look at their opponent.
But like sometimes I feel like would be looking at it would be like, all right, they have the Earthshaker, the Morphlene's not banned. I don't really like the Morphling this game. They don't have an AA, and they pick the Morphling. You know, you know what I mean? I feel like they don't really throw caution to the wind.
Because March is very confident, but 496 is different though. It's not that they're confident necessarily. It's just that they want to play their game because they know if they enable their own game, it's easier.
Yeah, but doesn't that take a little bit of confidence in your own? You know, if you say I'm gonna play my own game, that what means I'm confident in our play style, right?
Yeah. Or it means your play style is so flexy that it's hard to counter it. So you just need to play your game, and you don't need to worry about what the enemy team picks as much. I mean, obviously they worry a bit. It's not like they actually ignore.
Yeah, and I mean these are all pretty strong heroes. Yeah. I'm still on the fence about the Bara personally,
especially as an offlaner.
But the PA, was it the 15 talent? It's insane.
PA is really strong right now. Yeah. That blink strike talent is stupid, and it's like discount Ricky, but more damage. So.
Yeah, actually, she is a lot like Riki now that you mention it.
Yeah, you blink in, blink out. You're like, how do you? And as the bar charges away, you'll see the PA blinking to the bar, like, you know, some sort of bus, and just leaving you at the next station. Okay, so they banned the puck. 496 thinks it's going to be Void Spirit off lane, actually, by banning mids. I mean, I guess if you have last pick, you can use that last pick for the mid, sure.
We need... Well, like I said, we need someone on TNC to... either you need Tims to play a very aggressive, in-your-face Mirana with, like, a Greaves, a Yule Scepter, right? Or we need, like, someone... Kunkka would have been... I don't know about a Kunkka would have been that great, but something like that to just stand in front, be this tanky force. A little bit of team fight, just a little bit.
Let's see what 496 picks as their hero. What other consistent mid laners do you have? TA's banned, Void Spirit picked, Kunkka's off. You have Ember. You have DP, which some people consider a consistent mid laner, more so in America than in SEA.
Yeah, but I don't think you can go for DP against the Void Spirit because he's just gonna.
I mean, I don't think they know. I don't think they believe the Void Spirit.
Yeah, but I think he could definitely play the mid laner. Okay, that's a weird one.
Actually, that's more of a TNC pick than it is a 496.
I don't understand that pick at all, though. Because the Eng can just debuff the wind run off of you immediately.
True.
I really don't understand.
And the Yule Scepter that Void Spirit can pick up is also...
I do not understand that pick.
I told you they just turned off the top part of the screen.
Yeah, I think they did. I really don't get it.
They've been playing on broken computers for
I don't think this is a good pick from 496 at all. This is very questionable. Very questionable.
I don't love it either. I mean... Can you run the Void Spirit against? I think... Yeah, the lane is not the greatest for the Void Spirit, but you're fine, and you can run an offlaner and counter PA now pretty hard as well.
It's got to be like boom or bust here for 496 in my opinion. Okay. There's the quad.
Yeah, is that gonna be mid now?
Yeah, it's okay. It's okay. In my opinion, I think TNC they stand a chance of getting run over if 496 is ball out of control.
Yeah, but that off lane is going to be weak now for you. TNC is going to have a weaker off lane for sure. The Queen of Pain is... Sorry, the Void Spirit versus PA matchup is not the greatest. We know that KP plays that very often. The reason why I thought that it was going to be mid is because as a mid laner, you're much more consistent. As an off laner, there's better matchups against you. PA being particularly one of them. Because he farms nicely, and you can force a kill if KP's out of position. However, that doesn't really matter much if your other lanes win, as SeekNStrike mentions. And Armel, the Queen of Pain versus Wind Ranger matchup is absolutely amazing. So that's going to be a really difficult matchup to win. And you're going to have Mirana also potentially threatening kills, especially if she sees that KP's lane is just lost, or they can't really help him out. So it's going to be a difficult one right now for 496. I really favor the TNC draft this game. I think 496 should have maybe tried to counter them a bit more when it came to the laning stage. They didn't... Yeah, they just tried to play their game. Let's see if it works out, though. Let's see if the Spirit Breaker offlane works out.
I'm not completely on the... I don't know if I'm super convinced by the Spirit Breaker, to be honest with you. And it's kind of like a bit of a dire sign, you know, when your panelists are going, well, if they win all 3 lanes, they're probably going to win the game. But I really don't think TNC can stop them, right? The team fight early is going to be nowhere nearly strong enough to really even hold the candle to if there's 5 farmed 496 heroes running at them. My issue with it, though, is that I feel like the PA is going to feel really tempted to queue up the Battle Fury as that big first item. You got to be scaling if you want any hope of winning this late game. I don't think PA is the best for this kind of all-out early game victory. If you want that, maybe then you go for the Lycan instead, but it's going to be a bit difficult for them.
We'll see. We'll see as this game is now underway. If 496 are capable of just starting their game, because if they do manage to get enough farm on the PA and get going on the Wind Ranger, it's not a difficult game to run over the enemy team, as you mentioned on TNC. Just need to kind of trade the mid lane evenly, if that's possible, and ensure the PA gets a lot of farm. It's just so difficult.
But it's
though.
like,
Maybe Spellbreaker can play
what's
with
the
very
first
little
item
farm.
then? What's the first item in that BB? You know, it feels like if you lose one fight, that's it. Like, not only does it apply the brakes on the train, it derails the whole train here for 496. Because then if you go for an item, I don't know, maybe I would suggest maybe a Desolator first item to fight after the boots. Then if you lose a fight, it's like, well, this helps me farm, but not nearly as fast as I need to now.
Yeah, it's. I think Battle Fury is the safer build here, so you can still keep farming and out-farm the Void, which most likely will not go for a farming item early, right? In fact, the MKB build here on the Void is really good. So if you kind of play the more defensive role in late game, is not the PA doesn't need initiation because you just need to jump on someone and burst them, right? So you don't need the stun to go with it, which makes up for the issues in your team fight, which is mainly you have a Spellbreaker offlane and not a real team fighter. But at the same time, going for that is really unsafe because if TNC manages to take towers early, hence the Enchantress pick, also with a Queen of Pain who's gonna try to play early as well, it's gonna be difficult because if they reduce your map, then the Battle Fury becomes a bit of a useless pickup.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the issue is, and then that's not even touching on the Windrunner. Like, I think that's gonna be a pretty. I don't know. I don't know what we're going to be expected to see in this, unless it's a massive lane just stomp here in favor of 496 Gaming here. We'll have to see. We got a lot of big name heroes here. Of course, KP offlane on the Void Spirits, as we have some ping issues for TNC. Needing a bit of time for him to get good to go. Gabby as well down bot lane for his Faceless Void. It's gonna have. We'll see how this one goes for him though, as we will at least a first blood attempt here for TNC in that top lane. Already starting off with the Ring of Protection, just to make it a little bit easier for this lane. But it's not going to exactly be a very fun time either versus the Faceless Void. Very squishy lineup, though, here on the side of TNC, which could potentially be the death of them, especially with a PA here. But the PA just is not going to have items quickly enough, is really the problem. The PA, though, if she can somehow get the farm, if 496 can definitely make the space, it could definitely go their way here, but it's not going to be very easy. We don't have any immediate silences. We do have at least the Rubik, Master Tier Rubik here on Jokum. But I'm not really expecting anything amazing. I mean, what can you do here? The Windrunner is going to be just in so much trouble. Maybe the Ags? If you can farm an Ags, then at least after she purges your first one. But the problem is you generally like to use the Windrun to get in and then also to get out. So
yeah, that's why. And usually the builds that we've seen on Wind Ranger these days has been much more around the Ags, right?
Mm-hmm.
Because of the double Windrun. So it's interesting that you actually pick up a Wind Ranger against a double Dispel here. Because, sorry, I said double dispel because I'm assuming that we're going to see KP going for Yules.
Yes, that makes a lot of sense.
Or
Even
Mirana.
even if you don't, you already have it on the edge.
Yeah, but you have actually pretty good Yules pickers, right? Literally, Mirana and Void Spirit, probably the two best Yules pickers in this game. It's really good. It's really a typical item, and it's so good against this game as well because you also stop the PA from initiating if she doesn't have BKB. You stop Bara from charging. You can actually avoid the Ancient Apparition damage or dispel the Cold Feet. It's so good.
It is a really good item this game. Again, I really don't understand the Windrunner pick. It is a very 4-9-6 draft. You're completely right. Completely put a paper on top of the enemy heroes. If we can't pick them for some reason, then we know. But I don't know. I don't know how it really fits in this game here for 4-9-6. We'll see though. I think we will be seeing that Yule's into the Urn Vessel sort of build here out for Void Spirit. Just to at least get a little bit more damage in there. Still waiting for Armel to reconnect, however. Bit of a longer pause if you watch a lot of SCE games. There's no real surprise here for sure.
I mean, did you not know why they do the pausing?
Ping.
No.
Kale.
So people don't know this, but you ever watch the Yu-Gi-Oh anime?
When you take
right, of course you have because everyone's watched the anime. So if you watch the anime, you know that obviously most battles in ancient Egypt were decided by much of Yu-Gi-Oh, right? That's how actually Cleopatra came to power, all this stuff, right? Dota was actually the game that came later when the Romans started invading Europe and everything, right? So everything was decided by a game of Dota, and back then you didn't have actual heroes, so you had to use people for that. So you dress people up as different heroes and you forced them to fight. It was very convoluted. That's why the Punic Wars had so many people, they didn't have buybacks. You had to just send more soldiers. It was very complicated. And so at the beginning of everything, to make sure that you guys got everything set, right, because it was so difficult to set up, you had to do a pause. So they would actually sound the horn and be like, and then they would pause the thing as the soldiers were ready to start the Dota match. And that's why the pauses are still done today. It's actually just tradition based on the old Roman tradition.
Based on the Ptolemy dynasty.
Yeah, indeed, right? That's why Julius Caesar was just a really good Dota player. He was the first true 6K MMR Dota player. Yeah.
Back then they were still playing Artifact.
Oh, wow.
It was still in beta.
Really?
Yeah. It's amazing.
That was a long time ago.
That was amazing.
Now that you told me that, I can actually start to envision how far away Roman times were.
I know. Yeah. I know. Quite incredible. Truly.
I mean, it is called
Artifact,
incredible. Right? There's a reason why it's called that, like an ancient artifact. It's obviously everything is... Dota is defense of the ancients.
You know what else is ancient?
What?
This apparition. It's gonna have a really big impact this game as well. I here's the thing: is they have pretty good early team fight, lots of great nuke damage, and plenty of squishy targets. But again, it's a really target-rich environment for them, and it feels like even they have to get the right hero every single time. They can't just be settling for these quick and easy kills onto Tims or even onto Whitemon. It has to be important heroes.
Yeah, that's true. I still think that this game is going to be a really tough uphill battle for 4-9-6, to be honest. I think that they need to make a lot happen. Maybe in the bot lane. I don't know where they have kill potential in these lanes, to be honest. Because if it's Rubik plus Spirit Breaker, you don't really have much kill potential there against the Void. If it's... Maybe Enchantress can die there? I don't know. I actually kind of hope they put Rubik with PA and put the Ancient Apparition bottom. Regardless of who plays 4 or 5. Obviously, the Ancient Apparition's the 5, but it doesn't matter to me for the lanes.
There's the horn to start our Yu-Gi-Oh match. I mean, Dota match.
Jesus Christ, man. The wrong era. The 1,000 years in the future.
No one contesting it all for the runes. They'll split nicely to a piece. Look at this white man. Speaking of artifacts, you still got that Geek Fam tag.
That's sad, man. That's sad.
Rest in peace.
Oh, Bombi's starting in the middle lane for now. He's just there to help body block? Okay, interesting. And then going up top. It's very common. Actually, you see it less in SCA these days, but it's very common to actually do 3 in 1 lane and then get a kill, rotate, right, immediately after.
Yeah.
But I guess neither team is trying to do this. You see this very often in America, for example.
I feel like neither team, maybe TNC has a bit better of it, but neither team has the easiest time doing that. So good block out from Armel, maybe a little bit too good as the creep ended up well underneath his tower. So he's going to still do quite nicely in that first wave. But there will be, yep, there's the TP as they realize, this isn't happening. So they're going to go ahead and go 2-1-2.
Yeah, that's what you want to do, right? You start, if you can get the kill, great. If you don't, it's not really that big of a waste because it's a support TP, so who cares? Usually supports don't rotate lane anyway, at least the first 2 levels. Even if they gank mid, you know, you can't really do much there. Top lane, though, KP is suffering a fair amount. Did go for the first level Resonant Impulse, but we did mention this is probably the weakest lane for TNC, so it's no surprise this lane is going to be a bit tough for them. PA is too strong a laner as a carry. You can't really kick her out of the lane.
Well, that, and there's just so much damage early on in this lane. I mean, look at this. From incredible range, that BB as well as Bombi, just dishing out plenty of it.
Yeah, when Stifling Dagger, how are you going to deny her from farming, right? Even if your late equilibrium is not in your favor, you can always just Stifling Dagger out.
Yep.
So it's very
but
easy.
I mean, the good news is that it's going to be plenty of stick charges. Stick charges for days in that top lane.
Bottom lane, Whitemon.
He's okay. It's only fadeable at level 1. Just harassing, trying to make it a little bit harder. Red doesn't mind tanking up.
But it's the only kill you can get in this bottom lane. Right? You're not going to kill the Void here, unfortunately.
Not until we get a lucky bash, and we have at least a point or two in telekinesis. That's not happening for sure.
Yeah, that's what you have to do, right? You have to attack him, and then hopefully
top.
you get a greater bash.
Tims.
They are going for the Enchantress. Oh, we got slowed down by the Enchant, which actually stopped this charge. Very well played by Watmon.
Yeah, but Bombi... Ooh, sorry, it's happening, popping off everywhere. Nothing actually came from that, but everyone a little bit low. They forced out plenty of leap charges from Tims, but a lot to do about nothing up there.
Oh, sorry about that. We barely were watching two different fights.
You're good. That's what I was confused by. I was like, what?
Yeah, because the enchant actually saved Whitemon's life, otherwise he was dead. But that is a counter, I guess, I hadn't really considered. The enchant to stop the charge.
Oh, yeah. Well, not to stop, but essentially stop it, right?
If you had seen that fight, you would have agreed it was a stop, because it just slows you down to a halt, right?
It does.
Also, yeah, Bulldoze is also dispellable as well, so you can actually do that when he's trying to charge in, and all of a sudden Fast Cow goes to Sad Cow.
That is a very good point. Fast cow go sad.
Yep.
Sad cow go moo.
Well, we'll see, because this top lane is not going as bad as I expected. Actually, that baby is tied in the bottom lane. They are actually putting a fair amount of pressure with Spellbreaker, so it's working out for them. Enchanter's not doing too much. And mid, Wind Ranger's actually beating Mel right now in terms of assets.
No, that makes sense. More points into the Stifling Dagger. It tends to be normal, especially against ranged heroes. Yeah.
The Shadow Strike.
Shadow Strike, thank you.
Yes. If you can use Shadow Strike, you always max it. If you can actually use it in lane.
Yeah, that's
you
the
can
thing.
go for 2-1-2 if you think that you can get away with being greedy, but if you can just kick out Wind Ranger, that's perfect for you, right? That's your goal. And he just did, literally, as I said this. He kicked him out of lane, and this is usually when the Queen of Pain starts taking over because you have full Shadow Strike, so it's not surprising that Armel is now going to push him out of lane, force him to go back home. He's going to have to TP. It's not great for the Wind Ranger. And the Queen of Pain is also your space creator, so she can rotate relatively early and try creating space for TNC.
Yeah, 4-minute runes. Jokam is going to not secure the rune. Instead, Tim's finding that one top lane. Pretty easy for him. So that'll be the rune then, and a regen at that here in the bottle for Armel. That'll do him real good here. So he can afford to be a little bit more aggressive against the Wind Runner, who's going to be pretty sore to see that. I just had a TP all the way back, and you just pick up a bottle. Are you kidding me?
Yeah, and he also has you bottle with a regen, of course. Right?
That's what I mean. Yeah, picking up that regen rune.
Absolutely perfect. And now Hung might have to be forced to do that again. If you're 2 levels above him, that's going to be really bad. All right, so only 1 level. Never mind. Armel can't fully kick him out completely. We're going to see Armel rotating relatively early, or they're going to rotate mid to take the tower. Either or is a win for them, as far as they're concerned.
They nearly picked off the AA there as well. KP just a little bit shy on range for the Aether Remnant, unfortunately for him. Bottom just continuing to be aggressive as Rune's about to spawn in. We still have a telekinesis available. Whitemon getting bashed, could end up dying here, as that's going to be a 2-man stun uphill. They will get the kill, as Red with first blood right at the 5-minute mark there, securing that one for this team. Oh, good bash, but Gabby unwilling to trade more hits there with the creep wave nearby.
Dire's bottom tower is under attack.
So Wind Ranger is recovering thanks to the jungle. That's one of the advantages she has. Power Shot helps her farm a lot. She wasn't forced to max Wind Run in this lane, which is what you do against harder, more physical matchups. That's good. That's another advantage here. And Hung can definitely recover here. But the impact that Queen of Pain is going to have, you're not going to be able to match it. And again, I wonder how they're going to play the spaces of this game. Because you could rotate up top and try to get a kill on that baby. It's relatively easy, honestly.
Yeah, we don't really have a save, do we? I mean, a telekinesis and a charge to try and create space. You can always give PA a target to blink strike to, but Other than that, it's not really going to be too great, especially because everyone here, a lot of heroes rather on TNC, they have a lot of gap close innately built in. In fact, 4 of the 5 of them do. Looking mid lane, we'll see how they put that gap close to use. Windrunner, nice stomp out from Mr. Stomps. Will not from the kill there onto the Windrunner. Rubik's rotating in a little bit too late. That's going to be another rune here for Armel.
And, okay, Red, still going for Armel. We have Sonic Wave, by the way, plus Arcane Rune. Blink is not available just yet. Nice stop, stopping the counter initiation. That stopped whatever Jokam wanted to do there. Very well done. Now with Sonic Wave, finishing him off. Bombi, the next target as well. And Armel's still alive. He is hit by Cold Feet. Red still coming into the skill, and Red realizes he's in it to win it.
Charge in 1 second.
Get him! He tries to charge Armel with a Blink Strike ready. The power shot hits. And that's going to guarantee the kill at the cost of Red, yes. But they finally got what they wanted. This pesky Queen of Pain. 4 people, though, committed to this. Not a win.
No, not a win. It's a moral victory, but not a victory that'll make the game any easier for you here, unfortunately. Top lane, they're going to go on to KP, having seen both supports in the mid lane, but a level 1 Dissemblate puts him pretty safe. Cold Feet applied. We need a little bit more, and that dagger will do the trick. That BB is going to get a kill there. So, hey, a little bit of space created. A kill on 2 cores and 2 lanes. That's a little bit better now. Oh, not if that BB dies here, though.
That BB, the Shadow Strike is strong. I think it might just kill him. Yes, Fairy Fire, though.
No, he's gonna...
Oh, no!
No!
Oh, my God! They evaded the deny!
Oh, goodness gracious. That is just absolutely disastrous there. That's so unlucky. Zarmel then will pick up the double kill after that. I can't believe you can miss on your teammates. That's incredible. What a beautiful game.
Yeah, that was brutal. And getting the extra kill on the Ancient Apparition just to boot. You also push a tower up top. I was questioning, it seems like Armel should rotate top. That's exactly what he did. And now they take a tower together with the catapult. So it's a perfect time rotation as well. Really well played. Meanwhile, mid is still dependent by KP. And there is also no help. Like, they already took the catapult, so there's no push.
Wow. There's Gabby actually dropping the chrono. He picks up the kill onto Rubik. Red with a bash. Might consider going for more, but Gabby just going to time walk off that damage. I feel like I'm not calling it, but this one already getting pretty difficult for 496 here at this stage. Down 4 kills is not how you want to be starting this one off against this draft.
And Bombi, we have Whitemon joining in. I think the damage from the creep is too much, Bombi. What are you doing? Tanking this for free? Okay, that was a free kill. KP, though, still being chased. They have a Shackle Shot plus Focus Fire, but there's no damage besides that Focus Fire.
We do have a charge coming in? And
yes.
Red is going to...
insane.
Okay. Is he going to die too?
No.
Armel
he can get away, right? He can get away. He has Bulldoze. The arrow will miss completely.
Zoning.
Zoning arrow, of course. And now they go for the tower, at least. The catapult's coming in 1 minute. It's not the best timing to go for the tower right now, especially because obviously 496 is going to defend this. They're giving some space to that baby.
That's a bit
now
aggressive.
KP goes into the charge. Focus Fire, no big deal. Nice on the wave onto 3. Finishing off Hung Hung as they destroy Red as well. And I just went full Spanish. I'm sorry about that. Reading his name like a Spaniard. 496 losing 3 for nothing, and the tower as well. Huge win by TNC. I mean, we have mentioned this. The draft is just so beneficial for TNC. It's just such an outdraft this game.
Yeah, it definitely is. It definitely is. 496 not doing themselves any favors here with the draft this game, to say the least. We'll see, though. I mean, that BB's not too far behind the 8 ball. Of course, Armel kind of starting to run away with it, but more or less keeping pace here with the Faceless Void. Look how aggressive they're playing, actually. Already with the Moonlight Shadow, they will get the charge onto Quap, and KP onto the back lines he goes. That's going to be maybe a dead AA as well. Armel picking up the kill onto him. Red doing what he can. He can't even get his ulti off. It takes so long. KP absolutely just giving him no chance. Big power shot there, connecting onto all 4 heroes. Red slowly taking down here to the Urn of Shadow underneath his tier 2 towers. They do have the Centaur Conqueror here. Armel picking up the kill onto Red, and I think Windrunner is going to be next. Cannot even collect the kill onto Whitemon. Oof.
Hung there, another one. It's just the Wind Ranger pick. It's not his fault, too. It's just the Wind Ranger. We mentioned this literally in the draft. We have a Dispel here for the Wind Wall.
Yeah, it just,
It's one of the hardest counters. I saw people in the chat go like, oh, now Void can go MKB and beat both. Like, mate, you're thinking too far ahead. Like, they don't need an MKB for Wind Ranger. They're going to Dispel it every time.
Yeah, and actually, I think the only reason TNC backs up there is because they're literally out of mana. Otherwise, I think they keep playing in the enemy triangle. They keep getting these aggressive kills, but they're gonna drop back and chill here for just a little while, at the very least, and get a bit of our mana back.
Now, the only options, there's a Battle Fury PA, so the only options we really have is somehow managing to defend these towers, playing really defensively with Wind Ranger, playing the dead lane probably with an Ancient Apparition, and hoping that PA finds farm and carries the game solo, which is entirely possible. It's just very difficult, because Void's also a great carry here.
There's a
Bobby
good
in the top lane. Nah, there's no way he's surviving this. Yes, there's a Ice Blast, but
Yeah, that's
Gabby
fine.
goes out of vision immediately, so he can't be charged. Very smart.
Oh, man.
And mid.
Is that a smoke gank? It
Yep.
is. Onto 2 here. It's not
Yeah,
gonna
win,
see
win.
it coming.
Go again. Try this again.
Yeah,
Oh, I don't
White
even get a spell this time.
Oh, they don't have a stun, though. Arrow's not going to quite be in time. So at least Windrunner gets to escape with their life this time. So that should be Arrow stolen. Not a bad steal here.
Well done.
The good news is that at least we have the supports level 6, because I think at this point of the game, the supports for 496 much stronger here. And I think they definitely realize that. Unfortunately, they're just not getting good engagements, and the mid lane pick isn't helping their cause at all. You know, it's like with Armel, you know, at least you have a strong mid laner to come in, get a little bit of that extra damage, close the gap, all that good stuff. It's a nice charge there onto Armel. They baited the DD rune, and he's fallen for it as intended there. Void Spirit now possibly in trouble as Gabby finds the one-man chrono, but he also catches his Void Spirit here. That's still going to be a kill into 1, actually catching the Windrunner as well, just on the edge of that, setting up for a perfect arrow, allowing Gabby to pick up both kills there. They're going for more as well. Red's been scouted. He might have a DD rune, but not enough life to work with here as KB hitting him back with the taunt. There's the charge, but they were waiting perfectly for that. Red continuing to run. Tim's leaping straight into that one, and that'll be at least Red living for now, but again, 2 heroes dead in exchange for just Armel.
So that was a quite next level play by TNC, right? Because they put Kaipi to come out in the chrono in the bubble of safety, right? And the Wind Ranger could not believe that actually happened, and he
So she
just
walked
went
into
the
it.
one himself.
Yeah.
So they surprised, yeah, and they walked into it, exactly. Whitemon is going to die here to the Ancient Apparition, yes, but in exchange for the Ancient Apparition's life. And now you can get a counter kill on that BB. Let's see, slowing him down first.
Good,
Here's all
good
the supports.
telekinesis.
In comes the Wind Ranger as well. That BB, though.
Make a turn.
Blink strike, nice with the shackle
There's no
shot. Going
ultis.
for the Queen of Pain, but she's immediately invisible. Gabby still trying to get a kill, and there's no more wind run. Can't activate it in time. Destroyed by Gabby. Too much
Okay,
damage.
they can't turn.
Bursted down as Jokov also falls prey to this void. And even Red cannot get away. They get him with the Red, and he is quite tanky though, but he's only going to get some space for that
my
BB to
goodness.
get away as they destroy him and maybe his tower as well.
I mean, what's unfortunate is that, I mean, like, I think they realize what they have to do, right? They realize they have to fight early with their relatively strong supports. They have to go for these kills. But the problem is they just don't have the draft for that either, right? Like, it's like, how do you accomplish this here unless you are dominating from the first creep wave? It's really tough for these guys. It's really tough.
Yeah, the win rate just right. You needed a better mid laner here. The enemy team had mid lane pick. I honestly think that Ember here or an Ember or a Death Prophet would have both been better.
I think
if you want to go for the consistent mid
even a
lane.
Wraith King, even if you just want to counter, regardless if it's good or not, Bombi's gonna die here. He's gonna get the Ice Blast
Sure, but you needed a
off.
mid laner.
Yeah, that's
You needed a
good
mid
point.
laner, so you want a consistent mid laner, and they
Oh,
opted for the
KP.
Wind Rangers.
All right. There's a go on a KP. Armel's going to get the blink off just before the shackle shot connects. He might consider going back in. He's got a haste rune, no Yules for 15, as there's going to be the charge connecting onto the backline Whitemon. Instead, the ulti onto Armel. That pushes him away from the power shot, unfortunately. Gabby's got Chrono in 20, but he doesn't really need it. He's feeling confident enough to just regular fight here. He's going to steal Time Walk. Kind of useful, but again, Red kind of just charging into his death here. Time and
Let's
time
see.
again.
Fine,
Oh.
she'll come.
Chrono's up soon. Chrono's up now. Gabby wants one.
Bombi's down. There's a shackle shot down. Trying to kill the Queen of Pain. That's successful, but in exchange for the Wind Ranger's life yet again. So all they can muster right now is trades. That BB has to keep his space away. And actually going for the supports here. That BB trying to play a bit risky. Gabby going for Jokum as well. Destroy one first, but Gabby's still fighting here against Jokum. Red joins the fray again. Tim is the objective. They stop with the Yosef for KP, saving his support, but maybe not saving him from the PA. As now it's time for them to fight the real carry here. And that BB has been flying around, swinging and missing, just making them dance around this area, making sure he didn't get hurt a single time. And in the end, he's going to let them go. As he managed to get 2 nice support kills there, plus the Queen of Pain. This is actually pretty good for them. This
Yeah.
shows why they're so confident in their PA pick after all.
It was a really good time walk away. I think Jocum read that. He's like, yep, he's looking for a Chrono here. We're in a choke point. He recognized that he was in a bad spot, and he pulled out. He punched out of his fighter jet, unfortunately leaving his ally behind. But so that allows him to get a really crucial telekinesis there and actually kind of turn that. One of the better engagements we've seen from 496, I have to say.
Yeah, it was a well-played engagement. I mean, you're getting the kills that you need on that BB, but this is what happens when you have so little map control, unfortunately. Sometimes you're forced to go a bit desperate. You try to farm that you shouldn't be taking here because you have no tier 1 here, and you get killed. And a simple mistake like this costs you too much because you're losing the game.
Yeah, indeed. Oh, we did hear, an ulti mid lane. There we go. We caught that one. That's only for support, though. Like I said, aren't the kills you really need. Hung is going to get caught here by the Sonic Wave. Wind running away. There's no Ench alive, actually, to dispel him. Good job there, trying to keep himself alive, but Armel just too aggressive, charging on forward. Is going to at least be Red, but he's going to cancel that one as the arrow connects on the AA. Red trying to run for his life here with the bulldoze. I think he's going to end up getting caught here as well, unfortunately. There's the Yule Scepter. Arrow up in 4 seconds. That's going to be the 8th remnant to lock him down. Red charge not available, and down he goes.
Highest value Yule's game I've ever seen, honestly. You stop the Spirit Breaker completely. The Wind Ranger is useless. This is such a good game for that item, as we mentioned earlier. And we're starting to see the tree bearing fruits, as KP already got a fair amount of kills with this. Tim's, though, going to be going for a Glimmer Cape first. So a little bit of save for your Void. Not bad. After all, one of the weaknesses of actually playing around your carry so much, and Dappy being the only person really that can go in and out of the fight, is that if he's not carrying dust and you Glimmer Cape someone, you can just get away. It's very easy.
Yep.
One of the weaknesses of having the carry, because you run out of slots to carry, you shouldn't be the one carrying the dust, unfortunately. So it makes it difficult. That's why Glimmer is actually a really good pick of this game. It's a great way to counter the PA, because any carry with like mobility gets countered by those items, as they can't really carry dust with them.
Looks like we're maybe gearing up for a fight here, but again, with the Chronosphere available, you can just see Gabby he's itching for it. He's got this MKB Mask of Bandage, so he's got some serious damage to be dishing out now as well. 496, they're going to read this one out. They're going to go ahead and retreat back under safety. I mean, it sounds like I'm memeing at this point, but we do have at least a key item for Windrunner in the Javelin, right? That significantly increases the damage output.
Yeah, that's true, to be honest, but you want to play a Wind Ranger in the mid lane, you don't want this to be the case, right? You don't want it to be just like Javelin Wind Ranger. You want to be really dominant. One of the advantages of the picking this hero is that she has a pretty solid laning stage against most everyone, and against some people she straight up beats. But of course they forgot, or I mean not forgot, but they didn't consider, I guess, the co-op pickup. That made it so difficult for Wind Ranger.
Oh, look how aggressive they are. You show them the creep wave for a second. There, you're just dead.
No, I mean, the mistake there, though, was still by 496. They all showed bottom, so you knew that this Wind Ranger was free. So, of course, you're going to dive it. They're all bottom. What are they going to do? TP? You kill her in 3 seconds.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Yeah.
Sure, really. If they're going for the tier 1, should have been 1 or 2 people, not every single person, to try to bait them back. Because obviously they're going to stay here and try to take the tier 2 as well. They're definitely not going to try to TP bottom and kill the one person that's there. They don't care about that.
I also have a BKB for that BB. That's significant, at least, right? No Deso. No, you're absolutely correct. But Battle Fury online for some time, so at least you are farming, right? But because I think that's the only out for now, is just to hope that the PA can carry the game for you here. But it's not going to make it, or TNC rather, not going to make it any easy for them as they set in straight for Roche. Probably, I mean, who do you give this Aegis to? I don't know. They're both so tanky now. I would say so, right? Because Armel now has the Lincoln Sphere.
Yeah, also because Void can just walk in with Chrono. So one thing is Chrono, right? You kill whomever, and then when they're still there, Void can keep going because he doesn't care. So it's pretty good. Void also has MKB, by the way, so now even if Wind Ranger ever had a chance of making it out, there's no way now. And PA can't mind fight him either. And because PA is going for a BKB, yes, BKB is decent to deal with a lot of the damage, but it's not good against Void.
Yep.
Who is, by the way, going to catch her. Chrono, not going to waste it. Okay, no.
Doesn't need it.
Yeah, I can just kill her alone. There's nobody around. You went for the MP play and you got punished.
Gabby's going, hey guys, did you know they added a new neutral creep? It's a PA.
And they didn't drop a neutral item, unfortunately.
No.
Unlucky.
It's crazy. Well, I don't know. I mean, speaking of dropping items, 496, it's so difficult. It's down 16k here already. And from here, the path to victory is not easy at all.
It's a rocky one.
Yeah, it involves a lot of high ground. Jokum trying his best to stay alive as long as he can, but he is eventually going to fall to these two enemy heroes. It's Gabby just taking him for a bit of a walk now. Yeah, why not just bash up Bombi? There he goes. A double kill onto the high ground underneath the tier 4 towers. Taking a fair bit of damage here that he can't time walk off. He might die.
He might die. I think.
No, he's okay.
No,
AA is so underleveled. Maybe it was
Did he
high
calculate
level.
it on purpose, so they would get just barely on the? He's waiting.
Yes.
He was waiting for the chrono there.
According to plan.
They're just being cheeky now. They know that they've got this game in the bag. Not only are they playing better, but the draft is doing 4 and 6 in their favor.
Yeah, I mean, definitely. And yeah, I mean, it sounds like we're broken records here. Kind of I think, you know, when we go to the next draft, I think 496, they're going to take a look at this one and go, what went wrong? I think from the draft, right? And that's okay. Sometimes, because in you know, ideally, that's easier to fix than a mechanical issue, right? You just click a different button on the game.
I mean, you're right, that it's easier to identify the drafting issue, but I hope they do it. Last game we did see that, right? From Neon, they actually had a much better draft game too than game 1.
Bot
Hope
lane.
this is something.
Red has been here, by the way, for just forever. He's been cutting this bottom wave, trying to keep the tier 2 alive as long as possible. Goes for a short charge. I don't think he actually had any vision on any creeps anywhere else, and the arrow will catch him. And that will be Red condemned to death.
She went for a glimmer game. I don't understand the Spirit Breaker offering, to be honest with you. In the Kuko game, I also saw it the same way. But I get if you put Spirit Breaker with like a really strong laner, like Lina, for example, I can see the point. Because usually the strong damaging heroes are much more on the support side, right? So if you put Spirit Breaker forward with an offlaner, you're usually lacking damage. So I got the Lina pick. But in this game, where you put him with a Rubik, which is just kind of okay, right? It's alright. So it's an okay pick in the lane. Then I don't see the benefit of running the Spirit Breaker core because he's not getting any farm. He's not useful with farm anyway. Even if he did, he farms super slowly. You kind of are putting all your eggs in one basket when you put the SB core because you're hoping that you get a good early game. It's tough. It's not a consistent pick.
No. I mean, I think that's showing. I mean, look at where they're positioning on 496, just behind the tier 3 towers. They know that there's at least Gabby knocking on the door of their tier 2 tower, and he's going to be able to get that one here pretty quickly. But he's actually now got the full Heaven's Halberd to boot. He's looking pretty scary. They're going to go for maybe one last team fight here for the boys. The charge in onto Gabby. He's looking for the Chrono instead. He's going to get... Actually, the Ice Blast missed. It went off the edge of the map, so they didn't get the damage or the debuff. They missed onto both, but that's going to be a stolen Chronosphere at the very least. But it's not going to matter as Gabby continuing to teamfight Armel as well onto the high ground, just destroying anyone he can as they will drop now Gabby a Sentry Ward, but back into the base. Armel just bullying DatBB as they will finally call it here. 496, 40 to 10 in 23 minutes. Just an absolute bloodbath.
Yep. Wasn't a good game for me. The problems that I've seen with this team historically, I'll still show. Which that's why I was saying that as opposed to motivate trust, I feel like these guys didn't really prove themselves as much in the Pro Series. Because even though they did really well, it was a meta that favored them. And the weakness of 496 was never their playstyle. They're not bad players mechanically. They also don't make too many tactical mistakes. We saw 1 or 2, but it wasn't that big a deal. It's mostly their drafting that is their weakest point by a long shot. So game number 1, first game of the tournament for you guys. No big deal, honestly. You can lose this. It's whatever. It's just the group stage. But I'm hoping game number 2 we see some fixes in that draft.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. And just a solid performance out from TNC. I think they just kind of knew that they were stronger. 496 decided to keep trying to fight them, probably to the pleasure of TNC, and that's how the game ends up. But that is only game number 1 here, Alvaro. We'll be going to a short break. Your casters are SeekNStrike and Avo Plus. We'll be back with our draft for game number 2 here in just a bit. We'll see you then, guys.